What's going on, guys? It's Isaac here, and welcome to 6 basic tips on how to improve your builds. Now, nothing I can say or show or do here will turn you into a great builder overnight, but these are just my personal tips. A disclaimer, this is not an infomercial like Shakeway or Slapchop, but instead are my personal tips that I want to give you guys. So let's get started. Tip number 1 is always add depth. As you can see here is a very boring 1x3 wall in Minecraft, but by pushing it one block in the middle section, you have achieved depth. Here's another example of a boring Minecraft wooden house wall, but again, by pushing the middle section backwards and adding panes, you have created depth in your build. Adding depth in your build not only make it more realistic, but creates all this open space for you to fill it up with details later. As you can see, as I did over here, I pushed back this wall and have filled up the open space with details. So tip number 1 is whenever you can while you're building, always create depth. Tip number 2 is understand your curves and angles. As you can see in front of me here, I have a very normal Minecraft curve that a lot of builders use for rooftops. Now, this is just blocks on blocks on blocks to achieve the classic 45-degree angle, but there are things you can do to change that angle up. As you can see here, I have switched out the blocks for slabs to give it a lower angle and a less blocky look. And on this side, I have actually increased the height of the blocks to give it a way steeper angle. And the same thing over here. So as you can see, you can play around with the blocks to go away from the normal and boring 45-degree angle, but you can achieve any angle you want just by switching the height and the type of block. Over here is another classic Minecraft angle by using stairs. Minecraft stairs have a set angle of 45 degrees, so whatever you do with them, it's always going to give you the same 45-degree angle. But again, using the same fundamentals as before, by switching up the directions of these stairs and adding blocks, you have created a whole new different angles for your rooftop, your archways, or your doorways. And here is just another example of a different angle and shape. Over here is what a lot of builders get wrong when building roads and archways. Here is a wrong way of building a curve. As you can see here, it just goes up straight and it cuts into a steep 45-degree angle and a horizontal build. Now for this section, you guys can go on Google right now and search up Minecraft circle chart and take a look at that while I'm talking, and it'll help you get a better understanding. Now here is a correct way of building a curve. As you can see here, it's a lot smoother and a lot curvier than this one that you saw, because I have applied what I saw in the circle chart, like I mentioned before, into my builds. This one goes 3 by 2 by 1 by 1 by 2 by 3 to achieve a smoother curve for your roads and your archways. Now let's take a look at tip 1 and tip 2 together. Now here is tip 1, where I pushed back this wall and added the details to pop out. Using panes, I have created depth in my build, and thus by creating depth, I have made this look more detailed and realistic. On the top here, I have achieved a different angle than the usual 45-degree angles by mixing together slabs and blocks and different heights to achieve a different look for my rooftop. To the right here is a more complicated use of tip 1 and tip 2. As you can see, tip 1 still applies here. All my details pop out to the side or to the front, and the walls are pushed back and the panes, creating depth in the front and adding more details. The rooftop uses a lot of intricate and complicated curves to make this cool design. You guys don't have to do this after watching this video, but this is just to show you by understanding your curves and angles and practicing with them, you can achieve these kind of looking roofs. Tip number 3 is always try to build outside of normal Minecraft. And what I mean by that is, over here is a normal Minecraft wall. It still applies tip 1, which is depth, and tip 2, which is angles, but this is still a normal Minecraft wall because it is built how Minecraft was supposed to be built. Over here is slightly outside the normal Minecraft wall because it is built diagonally. Minecraft wasn't meant to be built diagonally, so by doing so, you are stepping outside normal Minecraft. Here is another example of it. Here is a Minecraft door that I use as a detailing for the window. You don't always have to use the blocks that Minecraft gave you for their uses. As you can see here, I use these doors, commonly used to build average Minecraft doors, as details for this window. Another example is, here's a very basic Minecraft tree. You can use these to plant this around your map and they will do just fine, but if you want to add a whole new level of realism and detail to your build, you can always make your own trees. As you can see here, I have built 2 different trees and they look far better and much more detailed than the ordinary Minecraft trees. I'm not saying you guys have to always make your trees like this, but what I am trying to say is always try to step outside what Minecraft gave you. And final example here is a Minecraft rail. You can use these for your train tracks or your rail tracks, but this is what Minecraft gave you and it's boring. Or you can build your own train tracks. So tip number 3 is always, and if possible, try to step outside of normal Minecraft. Tip 4 is colors make it or break it. Here is a building with terrible color choices. It looks all pukish, none of the colors seem to go with each other, thus it breaks the whole build. To the right of it is the exact same replica of the same build, but using colors that go well with each other. As you can see, all the colors flow well with each other and it completes the whole build. So this is a wrong color choice and this is the right color choice. As you can see, the colors really do make or break your build. Here's a quick bonus tip. Before you start any build, it is very useful and helpful to make a color palette. What a color palette is just stacking your blocks that you're going to use for your build side by side to see if the colors go along with each other. As you can see here, these colors go along with each other, and here's just an example of another colors that go well with each other. The color palettes are really useful before you start your build. Tip number 5 is patterns and symmetry. As you can see here, here is a wall that is horribly disfigured because it has no patterns or no symmetry. It is actually scientifically proven that the human eye really looks for patterns and symmetry, and it is pleasing to us. So it is always important to apply those rules to our build so that whenever anyone looks at them, it is pleasing. As you can see over here, here is a column that I've built with a very basic pattern, and as you can see, it's already very pleasing to the eyes. Here is another example of a symmetry and pattern. It's cut right across the middle and it is symmetrical from bottom to top, and it looks very pleasing to the human eyes. Now applying this to a bigger build, here is a castle tower. As you can see, there's tons of patterns that repeat, making it look really complete and pleasing to the human eyes. If I draw a line vertically right in the middle, it is completely symmetrical left and right. So whenever you get a chance, always try to look for patterns and symmetry in your builds, because in the end, when it's complete, it will look a lot more pleasing to the human eyes. Tip number 6, odd numbers. If it is possible, always try to build your builds in odd numbers. Every build that you saw in this video were built in odd numbers, and I'll show you why that is important. As you can see, this wall is very good looking. It's because it was built in odd numbers. Minecraft blocks are really thick, so building in odd numbers, as you can see at the top here, gives you this pointy tip and makes the profile look a lot better. As you can see, this detail is 1 block tall at the end too, which makes it a pointy look. To the right of it is the exact same build but built in even. As you can see, this is very blocky on the top, and you have this really fat chunky piece on the top because it was built in even, and the two builds look very different. Here's just another example of an odd build. As you can see, you got the pointy top, like how roofs are supposed to be, and your details all come together in a pointy tip. While if you build in even numbers, you have this really chunky blocky top and a chunky and blocky top for your detail as well. For any reference when you're building, it is always important to have a 1 block center, and you can only achieve that by building in odd numbers. As you can see, this is a 2x2 square middle, which is an even number. This is not what you want. Instead, you want a 1 block middle. You can only achieve this by building in odds. I can guarantee you guys, any details that you try to add, as you can see here, it will always look better in odd numbers. So that is tip number 6. So here are all the tips real quick before I end the video. Tip number 1 is always try to add depth to your build. Tip number 2 is learn your curves and know your angles and experiment with them to achieve different curves. Tip number 3 is try to build outside of what Minecraft gave you. Tip number 4 is colors make or break your build, so try to really hard to make colors that work and flow together really well. Tip number 5 is try to look for patterns and symmetries in your build because they are pleasing to the human eyes. And the last tip is try to build in odd numbers. So there you go, guys. These are 6 really quick tips that you guys can apply right now to your builds, and it will look better. Again, I'm not saying if you do these right now, you will become the greatest builder overnight. But these are just my top 6 tips that I have applied to most of my builds to make them look the way they are. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. Leave me any more suggestions for videos, and hopefully you guys found this really helpful. If you did, let me know in the bottom. And as always, I will see you guys in another video.